Hello, YouTube. Well, we've started. We're only 8 minutes late today, so I'm going to say that that is a win. Uh, Today we have, let's see. Well, we've got the usuals today. We should be having a special guest joining shortly, maybe having some difficulties with some technological advances. So all good. But he just actually texted me and said he's on his way. So we'll do that as well. But as always, we have the ever so delightful and well-knowledged DS Comics. Say hi, everybody.
What's up, man? Hello, everybody.
And, of course, we have Metarog.
Greetings, everyone.
Hello, Metarog.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Am I making contact?
That sounds great.
Oh, yeah, you're making contact.
All right.
It's hard to do the directing and also manage the chat. So you guys are both moderators. So make sure if you see anything in the chat or anyone brings up anything, Roger's usually pretty good about shouting out who's walking in. And DS, you stealthily comment while talking at the same time. I don't know how you do it. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. But but you get it done. So you guys feel free to do that all throughout.
Well, we got a bunch of people in the chat already. Tat Comics, Geeky GMT over from Sweden, Comic Bags 22, who just had a contest announcement like a little while ago. The Go-To Geeks are here. Comics Addiction, ¿Cómo está mi hermano? And that's it.
I'm sure you didn't run anybody off, so don't worry. We did good. I tell you one thing, I have to apologize too. I had these I did a video on my 250 subscriber contest update, I guess last night or yesterday afternoon, and I left off like 4 people because it's so hard. Like a lot of people had first mentioned like, oh, you know, that sounds like a great idea. I'm going to do a video, but then didn't do a video. And then other people said that they that sounded great and they were going to do a video and then did like a separate comment with the video. And I didn't catch it. And then other people, well, anyway, it was hard to get everybody with my limited brain capacity to get everybody down. So, but we really mulled through it today, and I think I've got everybody on the list who submitted something. So if anyone's watching this prize video and you don't see your name somewhere in some way on this list, then hit me up, and I'll figure something out for you. And I apologize in advance. All right. If you guys want to go ahead, we'll go ahead and do this drawing real quick and kind of get it out of the way so that if anyone's just on here to see if they won, they can watch and they can go eat their supper or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. I want to see.
Yeah, they can eat in chat, right?
Surely eat in chat. All right. So let's take a look real quick. And I will show... All right, so what we ended up with 2 outright winners and one winner that's going to be randomized. So the first one, outright winner, was Alfred 83 Comics, and he won. He showed 30 Wolverines naturally in his room, so that was pretty impressive. So way to go, Alfred 83 Comics. You are a definite winner. I didn't do necessarily a first place, second place, third place. He's just one of the 3 winners, and I'm going to divvy up the stack of books, I hope, fairly evenly and see how that goes. And then another for sure winner was Fields, and he won the surprise contest that I did. So the surprise contest was that I was going to automatically give a prize to anyone who counted out the Wolverines as Count from Sesame Street. And I just had a feeling that someone out there, because if I was doing it, I would have had to go, one Wolverine, and that's what he did. And he did all the, and he committed to the bit. Like I think he ended up with like 7 or something. Yeah, and for every one of them, he said, 7 Wolverines,
Wow, we got to give him major props for figuring that out. I had no idea.
It was just a surprise. It was just If no one did it, then there would have only been 2 winners. The 30 or whoever had the most Wolverines, and then everyone else in a random. But I had said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna give someone the additional little prize in my head. If I hear anyone do that, or multiple people do it, then whoever committed to it the longest or had the most Wolverines would then win the that secondary prize. So
yeah, I saw his entry and I thought that was just a bit. I had no idea that was part of a secret contest. That was amazing.
Well, he didn't know. I mean, it was just a bit. He didn't know either. Nobody knew.
Know. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought
yeah, no one knew.
Easter egg or something in there that you had.
That is the Easter egg. It was just for me. I had it in my head, and he actually got it, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought maybe if there was one, there'd be 2 or 3, but he turned out to be the only one, so that works.
Let's take him to an escape room. I tell you, that guy's amazing.
He gets it. So he gets it. And then also over here, we're going to do this is all random. So I have my random. Oh, man. Are you going to be able to see that? Oh, probably not. Look at that glare. That's a beast. Oh, no. All right.
Comic Bags is asking if Don Comic Book Junkie got an entry.
He did. He got an entry in last second. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen real quick. And that way, so you guys go ahead and talk for a sec. I'm going to see. I can't get the camera to not show the glare on the random org. So I'm going to do a quick screen share. So
yeah, I think Don the Comic Book Junkie probably has more Wolverines than anyone. But he has like every Wolverine issue of every series of every volume ever, but they're all most of them are in boxes. He's got an entire room full of long boxes. So I think the contest was just how many are showing in your comic room. So he still had quite a few, but if it was just total number of Wolverines you have, he would probably win on a global basis.
I think we have our guest in.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, man?
Welcome.
Hey, brother.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great having you, buddy.
All right. We're just we'll get into that in a minute. We're just going to go ahead and do this drawing real quick. That way, if anybody was watching on the replay or live feed and they don't want to listen to us yak, they can find out about the contest. Although they should want to listen to us yak. I think everyone's agreement on that.
Let's not yak too much here. Let's go.
All right. So I have everyone's name in here. I'm going to read them off real quick. Lindsay's Geeked Out Knickknacks, Metarog, Matilda Gothica, JPL Flash Comic Geekdom, The Boy Who Had 7 Talks Comic Books, Geeky GMT, Silver Age, Dave the Crimson Comic, Comics with Bueller, The Go-To Geeks, Wisconsin Clark, Comics Addiction 64-page special, Don the Comic Book Junkie, Wolf PR 0320, Nice Cover Bro. I think that's everybody. So I had 16 entrants not in the main winners already. We have 2 winners. So DS Comics, would you help me out for a sec?
Sure. What would you like me to do?
Okay. Since you didn't enter the contest, I want you to pull out any book at random for me.
Any book in my collection?
Yes. Doesn't matter what it is. Just any book. First one you touch. I don't care.
Go to somebody else's collection and pick it out, DS. Of course you're collecting. What kind of question is that, DS? You get him nervous, bub, when you ask him.
All right, closest one to me is Spawn number 21.
Okay.
Well,
so what we're doing with
book. No.
Yeah, not that book.
No, just kidding.
All right.
Any book with that
one. 21. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the randomizer 3 times. So that's 2 out of the 20 and 1 out of the 1. So 21, we're going to do the randomizer 3 times. And that's instead of rolling a die. I thought that'd be more comic driven. And let's go. So first randomizer. And we have Comics Addiction at the top. And so we're going to do it again. And we have Don the Comic Book Junkie. So this next one is for the win. That's 50 subscriber. Yeah. We got 2 entrants here on the video, but this is random. So I'll give you the code and everything. Here we go. Silver Age Dave.
Oh, good for him.
Silver Age Dave. I tell you what.
He won Comic Bags too.
That's another win for him.
Yeah, he's won a couple lately.
Holy cow. That's amazing.
Let's take him to Vegas like right now. Let's like buy him a ticket. Let's
For real.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm not a gambling man, but 2 in 1 day? Come on, what are the odds against that?
Well, you don't need to be a gambling man because you're not winning these contests. You just need to be a good abductor.
That's why I'm taking Dave, not me. I'm staying home and keeping all the bad luck over here. Anyway,
Congrats.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congrats over Age Dave, and I'll get your package out. And Alfred 83 Comics, I'll get your package out. And Fields, I'll get your package out. Those are our 3 winners. So woohoo! Thanks everybody.
Congrats, guys. Congrats.
All right. Now the boy who had 7, thanks for joining us. Glad you could make it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I had a couple of reasons that I wanted you to be in on this. One of them is because we had a topic we were going to go over tonight that I thought you would have a very unique perspective on.
Cool.
And that is, we're going to be talking a little bit tonight about some comic budgets.
Nice.
And what I mean by that, for those who don't have one, bless your heart, right? is how do you decide how much you're going to spend and the way that you're going to spend it? Now I know that for some of us, we don't, some people don't actually decide. They just walk around and spend what they want. That's fine, but that's still something of a comic budget because you can't spend it if you don't have it first. So you must have allocated some to it.
That's right.
So we'll start off with, let's see. Well, we usually go to Roger first. So we'll give old DS a shot at this one. Oh, and by the way, as always, we have a prize giving away tonight. So this prize will be given away to the members of the chat tonight. So, of course, DS Comics, Metarog, I'll get it, and Roger, and the boy who had 7. So
Cool.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away this Secret Avengers #1 blank cover variant, near mint, absolutely beautiful. It's as white can be, and you can get that sketched or signed or doodle on it in your spare time. Just don't doodle on it at somebody else's time. That's rude.
Right.
Other than that, it's yours to do as you like. I appreciate that.
I'll remember that, Bub. No doodling on other people's time. Gotcha.
No doodling on other people's time.
I'm making notes here as we chat. By the way,
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, boy.
I appreciate
7, right? That's good advice, right? It's not, you don't want other people's time on your conscience, right?
No, not at all.
No, we don't want to do that. All right, so what do you want? You want me to know? You want to know how I spend my money on comics? Is that it?
No, I was saying is we usually start with you, so today we'll go with DS. So DS does.
Hold on. You ripped my chest.
All right, the old switcheroo there. You pulled the rug out from under him.
That's awesome.
All right, well, I'll tell you how I budget. I basically spend all of my money on comics and nothing else. So that's the first important thing, is whatever I have to spend on personal stuff, it all goes to comics.
Wow.
So that's an important aspect of my budgeting. And generally, I try to put aside like $100 to $150 a week and just let that build up. And I don't spend on weekly pickups that much anymore. I don't go through dollar bins. I don't go to the LCS hardly ever. I just target some more expensive books, anywhere from like $300 all the way up to like $1,500, depending on how expensive it is how long it takes me. But I'll put $100 to $150 aside each week. And then I'll try to find some books here and there that I can flip. I'll usually send 3 or 4 CGC packages in each year, and I can usually make, about $1,000 to $1,200 profit on each one of those. And so the 3 or 4 times a year I get that back, that's a big bump to my budget. But otherwise, it's just good old-fashioned saving under the mattress, and when I get enough for something I want, I pick it up. So that's really how it goes. And you'd be amazed when I started doing this. The quality and the expensive books you can pick up if you were not picking up a lot of smaller stuff along the way, because $100 a week, most people can probably swing something close to that, and it adds up pretty quick. And you can pick up, like I've got this ASM 129 showing. I wouldn't have been able to pick this up a couple of years ago when I was still picking up stuff left and right. So that's how I do it.
That's pretty good. Smart. So what happens when you get, okay, well, you have to start with something, right? So I guess there's got to be some personal investment out front. But then what happens when you get that big CGC? You just showed us about a week ago that huge haul you had from CGC. So how do you go from there and then sell all of that off? And then what happens to that money? Do you just put it in the general fund, or do you keep it separate?
Yeah, so here's what I do. Those CGC packages, I send a bunch of stuff off. I've gotten pretty good at selecting super high grade, usually copper age is what I sort of specialize in, so to speak. I get a lot of 9.8s back usually, and my plan is to sell them all. And a 9.8 average is, you know, $8,200 copper age book, some more. But then when I get them back and I look at them, I pull one out. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep that. That looks awesome. I'm going to keep that. So I always end up keeping more than I plan to. But then I usually just throw everything up on eBay for a 7-day auction, starting at $1, and whatever it gets is what it gets. And that all goes into my PayPal, and I usually go from that. I usually will buy some things along the way to my next target, but that just delays the bigger book that I'm looking at down the road. But it's impossible to go, you know, too long. At some point, something comes up and I want it. I'll pick it up. So there's it's, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
So by the time you collect most of those CGC books or slabs at that point, what's your ratio of raw books to CGC or any kind of slab, I suppose, books in your collection?
Well, it's way different now than it was a couple of years ago. I had thousands of raw books and only a couple slabs, literally like 2 or 3. But what I did was, it was getting overwhelming, and I was trying to pick up, like, you know, Thor, you know, Journey to Mystery 83 all the way through Thor 500. And, you know, all like the entire run of ASM, and it just got overwhelming trying to pick up all these smaller books and keeping track of all the runs and all these titles. And so I basically pared my collection down and sold off almost everything and kept some small keys and got them graded. And then usually I have far fewer comics now, and I've just been getting them graded over the, you know, the last several years. And most of my collection is slabs at this point, which is manageable because I don't have as many books. So I'll have like I probably have an equal number of, no, I've got more slabs than raw right now. And the raws I have that are for my personal collection, I will get slabbed, and I get a few slabbed here and there. So yeah, I mostly have slabs now, but I only have I have a few hundred books now. It's nowhere near what I used to have.
Nice. Wow. That's cool. I think that's good advice for anyone that's looking to, you know, beef up their collection. You know, a lot of times you got to kind of pare down before you can build back up and really size it down.
Yeah, one other part of my budgeting is, you know, it's expensive to get stuff slabbed and to buy bags and boards and, you know, boxes to put them in and all these supplies and everything. That's expensive. I actually set aside a separate amount of money for that. It's for curating my collection. It's like a small budget for curating. Sort of like a museum has art. They have a curator that preserves and displays and picks what's going to be next and what they want to own, and has like the back room. The curator, I curate my collection of art, and that costs money. And the more you want to curate it, the more it costs. But I mean, getting stuff slabbed and you know, proper supplies and storage methods, that costs money. But I don't mind spending that. I have a separate budget for that, which is much smaller. And that's what goes towards slabbing personal books.
So seeing, and I agree. I think that's amazing. And to have, if you had a gallery, you know, in a true museum type atmosphere, there has to be a separate budget just set aside for pure maintenance and upkeep. Otherwise, the investment you have is losing value, you know, daily. So that being the case, in your comic basement gallery, what portion of your budget is set aside for mothballs and mousetraps?
I don't have any set aside for mothballs or mousetraps, but I do have some set aside for little packets that absorb moisture, and I put one of those each in all of my boxes. just so you can buy them at Walmart or whatever. Just the little bags of whatever that absorb moisture.
I got one showing here in my video. Just
nice.
So you can see what I use. You can pick these up at the dollar store too, by the way.
Yeah, something like that. But I have the small packets of that.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
So you put them inside your boxes?
No. I just put them. I put about 2 or 3 feet apart over the boxes, so the humidity comes down. In Florida, it's humid, and we lose electricity to hurricanes, etc. So it gets. Like humidity is outside now. It's like 93%.
Oh,
so yeah, it's savage. But even with air conditioning, when it goes off, there's still a tiny bit of humidity that gets in, so that helps to eliminate it.
Yeah, and I buy the smaller ones. They're like they're little pouches, and they're they fit in your hand. They're just tiny, and you can get like a package of those at Walmart. And I'll just take one out and throw it in the front of every long or short box I have.
Yeah, that's a good technique also. Yes.
Man, I love that you guys shared.
Does it get wet? Sorry, boy at 7. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I just was saying I love that you shared that because I've never even thought of that before, and now I'm gonna bite that.
Do you live in a humid environment?
You know what? I don't though. So I live in the dry desert in Texas. So.
Oh, okay. So you're probably okay.
So you just need to keep that air conditioner running, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Yeah.
You just got to worry about anything that having to do with the heat, heating up the pulp, but not the humidity.
Right.
Because there are many factors when you're talking about browning of paper and deacidification, things like that. But humidity is not a problem.
Yeah.
You have to be like an amateur chemist to be a curator of comics. Let me tell you that, because there are so many things involved that can degrade them over time. So.
Yeah, let me throw in one more thing. The reason I have mostly slabs at this point, it seems like some people watching, or even some of you guys, are like, "Wow, you're wasting a lot of money slabbing books. You like the raw books." I'm trying to at this point have a collection that's an investment collection, and when you have something slabbed and preserved and got a nice high grade on it, it brings more money. Ultimately, I just find it's got a better resale value and it's a better investment. And it also ensures, I've done some videos on this. I'm sure that all these books are not restored or messed with in any way, because I've got a blue label, and I trust that CGC has had experts review that as well as I do when I set my stuff in. So it's an investment / art collection. So, that's just my point of view. It's not right or wrong, but I have far fewer books than most people, but I love my collection.
That's what's important, buddy. Really, that's what's important.
I have to say with each of you, with each of our guests tonight, I know you all love your collection, but I've fallen in love with the collections that I see on YouTube. Every time someone makes a video, as much as I love my collection, I start loving your guys' collection and just thinking, oh man, and I wouldn't trade. I love, well, some of you I might trade.
I would.
Yeah, I trade with some people, but for the most part, I love my collection because I created it and I have pride in it. But I really started enjoying everyone else's collection and just fall in love with all the books and the styles of collecting. Because I have just a few slabs. So when I see DS drop all those slabs every day, and Roger, when you've got all those books lined out, a book for every need, any topic of conversation, and it's ready to go. I think it's awesome.
Cool.
So, Boy Who Had 7, tell us about how you keep your collection safe and dry. Well, we talked about that. So I want to know about your budget. How do you, one of the reasons that I was so excited to have you on tonight was because we were talking just before you had got on too. You've got the Boy Who Had 7 does not stand for the boy who, it's the boy who had 7 kids, right?
That's right. 7 kiddos. So
how does, I don't know how you even, there's kind of like, there's like a 6-part question to that. But we'll start with the main question, which is how do you even decide that there is any money to take out of the general fund? Because I don't care if you're the richest person on earth, it doesn't matter, because there's still like 8 people that are standing behind you saying, but don't you need to buy me something?
That's right. It's funny you say that, because over the weekend I was sitting here on my computer. I'm about to buy some big books, and my wife comes in and she's like, do you really need that? And, you know, we had a discussion here. It was really hard for me to turn the computer off and not get some new books because some of the kids needed some things. We need some new floors in the house and stuff. So luckily I own a landscaping business here in El Paso, Texas, man. And I'm able to put a good amount of money on the side for all 9 of us. So we all kind of agree on a budget. My wife and I get together and we put a certain amount aside for each child monthly. And then her and I both get our own budgets that we get to spend our money. And so what I do usually is I save up that budget, you know, for a couple months and then, okay, here it's time to get a big book. So I just recently picked up a nice one, an X-Men 1. It's my first one.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
Oh man, when it came in, I was shaking.
Can you show it to us?
You know what? I can. Let's see.
All right, show it to us. No faces. No faces.
I'm going to jump out of the way.
We already know what he looks like.
Yeah, it's true.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Roger.
He looks just like his avatar there, except, you know, sans the cape. I haven't seen him with a cape yet. But.
You know, when my dad saw that little Bitmoji, he couldn't stop laughing, man. He's just like, that looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what came first. Was it the avatar or you?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I think Roger's been drinking again. Take it easy, Rod.
You didn't say that I couldn't.
I didn't say you couldn't. No.
Actually, I've never taken a drink of hard liquor in my life. Just some wine here and there.
I'm not sure.
Wow, look at that, guys.
Is that CPCS 4.0?
Yeah, 4.0.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a perfect grade too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was exciting, and I'm happy.
You got the dark green or the light green?
Dark green, man.
Yep, looks like
nice.
Dark. Yeah, looks like dark.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey!
So yeah, we just set our budget, man, and I've gotten to a point now where my wife's like, you know what? If you want more books, you got to sell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
sounds familiar.
Yeah, when I first started collecting a few years ago, or picking it up again, I started going off of some of the stuff that I loved as a kid. You know, like the '90s books. So I was picking up full runs. And I've read through them with my kiddos, and I've loved them. And I'm thinking, you know what? They're taking up so much space. I need to start getting rid of some of these things. And, you know, Diaz had a good point. I'm thinking of doing the exact same thing, getting rid of a lot of the stuff that's taking up space and just getting big keys once I get the money from those. So that's kind of what the journey I'm on now is just selling some stuff off, doing it at the right time when things are hot, and then using that money to turn around and buy some big books.
That's great. That's very impressive. I think the first points of the night, it's a little late getting to it, but I think we got to give at least 10 points for the boy who had 7. So he's in the lead for showing off that amazing book. And that's just awesome.
Oh,
that's
man.
Really awesome.
10 you're shortchanging them with 10 there. Come on.
Well, I didn't know how many to give. What do you think, Roger? I'll take some, or really anyone in the chat too. You're free to remember to give out points.
I figure this: you got to give them 1 point for every kid. That's 7, right? And then,
hey, I was at 10. You got them down to 7.
Hold on.
Yeah, I was like, come on, give me some more here.
And then
he's competing against you. Don't forget, we may not want to ask him his opinion.
Well, I haven't finished here. Listen, guys, you're stepping on me here. So, and then multiply that times the grade of that X-Men #1.
Ooh, I like.
There you go.
Ooh.
That's my live chat math there.
Live chat math. So that's 7 times 4 is what, 28?
28.
So 28 points. Oh man, we're all in the hole now. Well, good job. That's a beautiful book.
Hey, come on. That's an X-Men 1 for God's sake. You don't see that flying off trees around here at least.
Actually, I'm waiting to see you bring up your copy of X-Men 1 Where is it, Roger?
That's an alternate version of me. You know, it's like it's like, you know, Earth 2 Metarog has that one. Earth 1 Metarog wasn't born. You know. So
Awesome.
you'll be waiting a long time for that one, brother.
Awesome. That's great. Boyhood 7. I think that's fantastic.
That's amazing, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Amazing.
Way to go. So it looks like both DS and Boyhood 7 are kind of rolling on the same train, selling the smaller books that are maybe less sentimental and have a little bit less, not necessarily value, because obviously they have a lot of value, especially as Boyhood 7 pointed out, if you sell it at the right time, that's probably key to getting the most value out of it, the most bang for your buck, and then turning around and buying more big books with those bucks. So that's pretty awesome. Roger, what's your budgeting strategy when it comes to picking up books? I know you hit a lot of flea markets and yard sales and do a lot of bargain hunting. So how does that go for you?
Yeah, I mean, if Boyhood 7 and DS Comics are on the same track, I'm way off. I'm way off that track. I am derailed because I have my system is. It's not in any way, you know, uniform, but essentially what I do is, okay, let me just preface with this. 99% of my collection was bought in the cheap bins. I either bought them off the racks in the 70s and 80s, garage sales, flea markets, going out of business, comic book shops, things like that. So what I try to do is I try to zero sum my collection. So my collection, except for the 30-cent variant complete set, which I do have about $2,000 into that. Everything else you see that I show is free. Okay. And the way I go about that is that, as you say, Bub, I go to a lot of garage sales, estate sales. I troll the Craigslist ads, and I get a lot of really good stuff through there. And if it's not comics, like for example, I just found this. I just found this here in a garage sale for $0.25. Okay, I found that.
Hey, Rod, you can't show that. You can't show that. What is that? You can't show that on TV. That's YouTube's got restrictions.
Duncan Yo-Yo.
Oh,
yeah, I love the Duncan
Yo-Yos. Go ahead. Yeah.
Duncan Yo-Yo. You should have a lot of attention to a yo-yo, Bub. Anyway. So
go on.
I found that, and it was a big box and I found about 3 or 4 other things, and now somebody just offered me $45 for it.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna sell that, right? And then when I hit the flea markets and estate sales and my cheap bin in my LCS, then I'll buy about $40 of comics. Like I'm working on several projects. I think I mentioned the Marvel stamp project. I'm working on filling in a few holes in my complete Marvel Bronze Age run, completing a few little promo items that I need, et cetera, et cetera.
You're working on that second print variant run too, aren't you? The Marvel second print variants where they change the color slightly in the background.
That's right. I'm about 75% there. But some are, that darn Hulk 377 third print, which was some kind of anomaly that came out 7-8 years later after the original print. Is like it's a ghost. You just
you might have to bite the bullet on that one, Raj.
No, I'm not biting any bullet. I'm not biting any bullet. I'm not biting any bullet. It can bite me because I'm not biting a bullet.
There you go. If I was doing that, I would just straight out go and pay the $500 and pick up a nice high grade one of that. But
Well, I said I'm on a whole different track than you guys.
Right.
Because I mean, if it's not cheap, it's not me. I mean, that's just the way I roll. Okay. I just don't. I don't like to. I like to invest my money into my my 401ks, my retirement funds, my wife's funds, things like that. Because we're a little older than you guys, so we have to think about the future and so forth. But so that's pretty much how I roll as far as my budget. Whatever I picked up a bunch of Genesis consoles, I think about a month ago, and I've already got those pretty much sold for a couple $100. I think I paid 20. So, those are the kinds of transactions that I don't use any of my own or my wife's money to buy comics.
Well, Metarog, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, what's the most you've ever paid for a single book?
$100.
Wow, that's awesome.
That was, and I'll take it out. That was my last 30-cent variant that I needed for my set. And it is extremely tough to find. There's only about 10 or 12 known in existence. And again, I don't really eBay. I know most of you guys are big eBay guys, and they go to eBay and you get your stuff there. Rarely do I do that. I said I'm an odd duck in many regards here, but rarely do I do that. I usually like to try to get it through, personal relationships, things like that. So that there is a Kid Colt. You'll say, "Oh, no big deal," right? Kid Colt. Oh boy, that glare is awful. Let me see.
Yeah, that's a tough book to find. I have not seen too many of those.
Hold on. Let me get it out of this top loader because it is just it's reflecting like a mirror here. Hold on. Is that a little better?
That's
better.
No. Yeah, it's a little better.
Well, anyway, it's incredibly tough, and look how well centered that is, at least horizontally. Vertically is a little off, but this one is very tough to find, and it was the very last one that I was able to get, and I got it through a relationship. I got it through a tip that another collector gave me because he knew I was looking for it. No eBay, none of that stuff. My 30-cent collection was 95% of it was done through personal transactions.
Wow,
that's amazing.
That's awesome.
So that's just the way like I said, the stuff that you see that I show, it's because I'm old, not because I know what I'm doing. This was the stuff like that Captain Marvel you see over to the right. Nobody wanted those in the 80s. Nobody. Those languished in the 25-cent bins for months. I got almost the whole run of Werewolf by Night in a $5 for $1 bin.
Wow.
Including 32, 37, all those, because nobody wanted them. But I did because, that was an odd duck. I always was. I always liked the weird stuff.
You make me want to be old, man.
Nah, it's not all it's cut out to be, brother. You wouldn't believe what I got to do to keep in a semblance of shape.
There you go.
Well, Raj, I'm with you on that one. I guess I have a similar mentality as you, and I've tailored it.
Now I'm scared.
Yeah, I can't. You should be. You should be. But when I go to purchase my books, my budgeting method is very similar to yours. Only it's, I guess, a little bit more of whatever this modern stuff is, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, what I do is that I go on eBay most of the time. Sometimes I'll go to yard sales. Haven't had good luck at yard sales, but the flea market I do pretty well at. Every now and then an LCS, Dollar Bin, or something like that. And I basically hunt for books that I think are undervalued. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for a pretty spot on number is what I'm hunting for. So I'm looking for a book that I can sell at 40% of its retail value and still make double my money. So
that's the way to do it, buddy. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So in easy terms, I'm looking to spend $2 on a $10 book. So that's basically, or under, of course, right? So that's what I look to do. I look to spend $2 for a $10 book. So if it's a $20 book, then my budget's up to $4. If it's a $5 book, then my budget's significantly less. So that's the idea, right? So that's what I do. So a lot of times if I'm on eBay or anywhere that I'm at, if I can buy in larger lots, say lots of 15 or more, then there's a good chance that there's plenty of books in there that are going to have a value of that,
right?
And that I'm in my ratio wheelhouse. And then what I also do is that I take I generally look for lots. You say, yeah, well, how do you find lots? Because it would be a full-time job to sit in front of eBay and look for lots all day long, right?
Yeah.
So instead what I do is I look for books that I like, books that I want in my collection. And I buy the lot that has my book in it. I keep the book, sell the difference, double my money, and get the book for free.
Yeah.
And I basically don't buy it unless I can do that.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds somewhat similar to what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically almost my entire collection has, but at least recently when I finally figured it out, because I tried everything because once I had caught the bug and I was basically hemorrhaging money out of my personal bank account, right? Just hemorrhaging money. And I was like, I can't stop buying stuff. And then I realized, well, yeah, it was bad, man. I was like, oh no. I was like, I have to figure out a way to have this habit, if you will, or hobby self-fund. And that's when I came up with that little formula. And ever since then, I haven't paid anything for a book. My entire collection is paid for, and I get lots of good gems. Another thing that works that way is if I can't get double my money back, and sometimes I still do anyway, but when I'm selling to LCSs, I'm flipping on eBay. You know, I don't do too much selling on eBay anymore because I have a couple of LCSs that buy for me at 40% retail, and then they're selling it from there on out. So they're going to get their money back. So they're happy when I show up because I bring books that interest older collectors. Because, you know, a lot of the young kids are really just speculating, but the older collectors are just trying to fill runs. Some of the older Hulk books or Thor books or stuff like that. A lot of Silver Age I deal in mostly is selling Silver Age books. And so that works out for me, and all my books end up basically free. And then with what's left, sometimes the shop may don't have enough cash on hand to pay me what I'm asking. So I'll knock a little off the price, and then I walk out of the shop with whatever books they have or collectibles. So I get most of my collectibles for free as well.
That's great.
And I do that. Yeah. So like this one I just picked up this weekend. It was new in the box, but I usually take them out of the box. So like that was priced at like $20. So by being able to wheel and deal a little bit, I only had to really lower my overall amount by like $5, and then I got this thrown into the deal. So sometimes it takes a while. Like I was at the shop this weekend for over almost an hour and a half, wheeling and dealing until I finally got the number I wanted and walked out with a bunch of stuff too. So it was pretty good. That's my budget. That's how I collect.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I really am. I'm proud of you.
So we've got basically two camps here.
I'm proud of you. You're a good young Padawan there.
Yeah, Metarog, you and Bub are spending, you know, $1 or less per book and filling in your whole collection with sweet stuff. And then me and Boy Who Had 7 are spending hundreds to thousands and picking up the one book here and there. It's totally different styles. And you know, when you watch, I'm not going to speak for myself, but just for everybody's videos that I watch, whether it's that style or people are picking up huge books, it's just equally exciting, and it really rounds out this community and this hobby because you get to see everything because everybody's got different styles. And it's, you know, if everybody had, you know, this copy of ASM 129 I'm showing, that would be boring, but I get to see so much stuff because everybody has a different style. So yeah, it was really good discussion. It was nice to hear everybody's budgeting process. Yeah,
well stated, DS. And I feel exactly. I love to see like Alex the Comic Quarter get his, you know, that AMF 15 and, you know, the Showcase 4, things like that. Yeah. You know, but I get equally or more excited when I see some, you know, like I think Little Doom found like a huge amount of stuff, keys for like 50 cents a dollar, you know, minor keys, things like that. You know, I like both of them. You're right. I'm with you there 100%.
I do enjoy that. I think one of the things that makes it so fun to watch all these channels is kind of a little bit to wonder how they did it. You know, how did you get that book? What did you pay? Sometimes I'm mad when they tell me what they paid. And sometimes I'm really inspired to find out that those deals still exist. Because the way that I do it, where I'm doubling my money, my comic budget does grow, and it doesn't all go in to resale or repurchases, a lot of it goes into, well, now I have $100 to go after a bigger book that I'm after, and I just spend the money. And I look to get the one I want, and I look to get it at a good price, but I still go ahead and spend the money. So it gives me the freedom to buy big books, not huge books, but it gives me the freedom to buy big books and while collecting small books along the way. And I like that. But when I look at someone else's, oh man, sometimes those books, like you said, AF-15, really, I don't have the strength to budget long enough to where it would grow enough to purchase that. So I'm always, I love to see other people get those.
By the way, chat update here. Gomez is in the house. Hey, Gomez. Bueller is in the house. He says, sorry for not being on the show. I'm not sure why. Sorry. Why are you sorry, Bueller? You're on that other live show too, buddy. You're good, man. Let's see. Yeah, you know.
What's up, guys?
So Gomez,
let me get see if we can get Bueller in here. He was scheduled to be on tonight.
Oh,
actually.
He was. Oh, that's why he said that.
At one point, yeah. At one point, he was scheduled to be on, and then he had to back out because he was helping a friend. I think he was like managing a shop or something like that, or helping like someone manage a shop.
That sounds like Bueller, always helping somebody out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Bub, I wanted to ask you one thing. What you said this a couple times in your halls, and I am not being facetious. I don't know what this is. What is a peddler's mall?
Okay. It's basically a flea market, but the flea market, generally when you go to a flea market, the seller is present, right? Mm-hmm. So there's someone there to deal with, to haggle with, to do whatever with, right?
Right.
Hopefully it's all legal, right? So whatever's going on at the flea market, you have, flea sellers, if you will. Right. So a peddler's mall is usually an unoccupied or unmanned, if you will, booth or table or section that's otherwise set up very similar to an indoor flea market, okay? And what they do is that they rent this booth space out, and then it's more or less managed by security cameras that the peddler's mall, function and watch and everything. And every item in there is then put on, like, they have a sticker on there that says the booth number and the price.
Wow.
And now this is not 100% universal, but this is basically how it goes. And then you can shop the entire mall, everything you find, every table, everything you see, and bring it all up to the counter at one time. And when you do that, they ring it all up, and then that's your total. And then they keep a ledger at the peddler's mall of every booth number and how much they sold from that booth. And then they cut a check minus their rent fee to the peddler, if you will, at the end of the month.
Wow.
That is crazy.
I've never heard of that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a distinctly Southern thing or not. I know that stuff like that wouldn't fly. I'm from New York City originally, and stuff like that would not fly in New York City.
Wouldn't fly where I'm from either.
Not enough. They'd have to install like machine guns with the cameras, kind of RoboCop style, it's cease and desist, and stand down, and then it's riddle them with bullets. So,
wow. I've never heard of that, but I'm going to see if I have any in my area because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. I do really well at those. Now, what'll happen is that if you get a good peddler, if you will, right? If you get a good peddler, then they update their books regularly. And the one that I go to, he actually manages a booth at 7 different peddlers malls in the area.
Wow!
So
holy moly!
So and he just brings like 3 new long boxes of books every Wednesday. So like New Comic Book Day includes going to the peddler's mall to see what back issues that guy has brought. And everything in the booth is $1 or $2 for Silver Age and older.
Oh, that's my speed, man. I got to move over there, man. That sounds good.
You can come for a visit.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to intrude into your territory too long, I guess. But.
Oh no, it's okay. You can come over. My house is open. We have a 3 book a night rental fee. You can sleep in the garage because there's no books out there. I make sure I don't want any problems with humidity.
Hey, it's like Alcoholics Anonymous. We don't take a drink. We don't get any. If you don't see any comics, we can't get them, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Otherwise, we'll start just grabbing those right off the wall. I'll even take your wife's Archies off that wall. You know what I mean?
Oh, now she's fierce. You don't want to deal with her. Yeah, that's Cave Woman right there.
That's why I don't want to go over there. It's too much temptation.
Silver Age house.
Silver Age Dave, hey buddy.
Congratulations.
Dave.
Yeah, you
go ahead, boy.
You won. You won the contest. You won the 250 subscriber contest. We all saw it live. Congratulations. Yep. We had 3 winners. Field, Silver Age Dave, and Alfred 83 Comics. So those were our 3 winners.
Yeah, Fields was in a little earlier.
Yeah.
And Dave also won Comic Addictions just an hour or 2 ago. So again, Dave, man, if I were you, I'd make a short trip to Vegas and put everything on white or black, whatever you do, and buy another one of those collections that you get for next to nothing. Because I tell you, you're amazing, man.
Hold on, Roger. Let me tell you. But just because Silver can't, he's not on the phone, right? So he can't defend himself. But let me tell you, Roger, I'm not going to let you get away with this. So I'll tell you why. I sent you some books, and I sent an AMS or ASM. Dang it, did it again. I said it.
Right here, buddy. There it is. There's the proof.
Dang it.
Right there.
Oh, I hate to show that. So I sent an ASM.
You opened the door.
Dang it. I sent an ASM. Dude, I'm going to turn your mic off. I sent an ASM 258. And he put it on his thank you video, which I appreciate. And he was like, he sent me an AMS 258. I don't know what that was. Maybe he was testing me, but I didn't fall for it. I'm watching you. I know it's an ASM. I was like, this is not some sort of senility test to see if Roger still got it. It's a typo.
Hold on. I got a glass of water. Hold on. Oh, man,
so anyway,
hello everybody.
Hey, is that Bueller?
That'd be me.
Hey.
What's up, Bueller?
Hey, what's going on, Bueller?
How's everybody doing? I'm actually working in a comic book shop right now, but it's like 100 degrees outside and nobody's come in for like the last 2 hours.
Wow. You should turn the AC on and then hang a sign saying, cold air inside.
That's not a bad idea because it's actually pretty nice in here, but outside it's just roasting. But I wanted to jump on here and kind of hang out for a little bit if that was all right.
Of course.
It's great to talk to you, buddy.
Right on YouTube, Metarog, BUB'S, everybody. Who else is in here? We got DS. Is that right?
What's up, Bueller? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Right on. And then the boy who had 7.
Hey, Bueller, how's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. It's good to talk to all you guys in person. That's kind of nice.
Good deal. I like your Morbius.
Yeah.
It's awesome, not mine. Man. It's the comic shops. I just had to put something in front of the camera.
Oh, I thought you said you were buying that.
I don't have any of my books here, so I had to put something there, right?
Oh.
250 going for 250.
Is this a live auction?
It's a live auction.
Bonus.
Bad price for that book.
That is beautiful. Gil Kane cover there with the 6 armed Spider-Man. Beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm actually working at this comic shop for the rest of the week. The owner had some family stuff to take care of, so it's I'll have a nice little bundle of cash at the end of the week to spend on comics. So,
Speaking of which, we've been going a little round robin on that. What's your general approach to comic budgeting? How do you develop your budget? How do you know you're in a budget, or is there no budget? Which we had already agreed is a budget in itself.
Well, it's, you know, honestly, I actually, when I go into a comic shop, I only take the money I'm going to spend, and I only pay with cash because I can go crazy, but I'll go in there, I'll have $40 in my pocket, and that's all I'm going to spend. That's the best way I can do it, because if I take my card with me or something else, man, I'll walk out like a $400 tab.
Yep.
But I do sell stuff. I do sell stuff on eBay, but I've never told anybody my eBay account or my eBay store. I don't know why. It's just I keep it separate. But I do sell quite a bit of comics on eBay.
Nice.
Yeah, I hear you, Bueller. I do the same thing. I sell comics on eBay all the time, and I don't think I've ever shared that cross-channel onto YouTube, so I keep it totally separate too.
Yeah, my local shop, he takes PayPal as payment. So I literally, everything I sell on eBay, all the money I get literally goes back to the comic book shop. So it's kind of cool. It funds itself. And I kind of heard you guys, or Bubs, you were kind of talking like that your comics fund your hobby, which is what exactly it should do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try. Yeah. I kind of do the same thing with my LCS. He pays in PayPal. The closest one that I have to me that pays when I sell him books, he pays me in PayPal and sometimes cash, but most of the time it's in PayPal, and then that just sits there and it's just waiting for me, and it kind of get to watch it grow, kind of like a like a bank account. It just kind of keeps growing, and it shrinks and swells, but it always swells twice as much as it shrinks. Yeah. So it's not a tumor, but it grows just as fast.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
I do tend to buy a lot in bulk. I'll buy like a long box of like $1 books at a time for like a really good deal. So I do a lot of that type of stuff, and I sell little bundles and stuff. So that's kind of how I fund everything that I get.
Good man. You're my hero, Bueller, man. That sounds so awesome, right? To get free comics, right? Just because of a little effort and a little knowledge.
Yeah. And now, who knows, man? Maybe this YouTube thing will start paying for some comics. That'd be fantastic.
Man, you're growing like crazy.
What?
My goal is to be able to buy a 50-cent comic with money I made from YouTube. So if I could do that, I've made my goal. That and pay for my internet so I don't have to steal it from my neighbor. That's my other goal. If I can do that with YouTube, I have totally succeeded in what I've tried to do.
Oh my gosh, you're too much, man. You remind me of that guy who didn't pay for ketchup. He used to get the packets from McDonald's and throw it in a bottle. You know, that's my hero right there, buddy.
I do keep my Taco Bell packets. I love Taco Bell sauce, man. I got like a whole drawer full of Taco Bell packets.
Oh my gosh,
put in your purse.
Probably
in your purse.
You just keep that for evidence in case you need to put that into court to show what happened to you. You eat Taco Bell every day. You need to show how this happened.
I'm a bachelor, man. I gotta do something.
Oh my gosh, Bueller, you're too much, man. You're a riot and a half.
That's awesome.
I think we ought to give Bueller at least. If it's taco, if he's swallowing taco sauce by the pack, let's give him 2 points. At least you gotta give at least a number 2.
Points.
2 points for Bueller for swallowing taco packs.
Hey, Bueller,
they're the best.
You got any coffee there with you, or?
Yeah, but it's just hot coffee, and it's like I said, it's just boiling. So I wish I had some of my iced coffee. I didn't bring any. I need to make some when I get home tonight.
No cold brew?
Yeah, no cold brew right now. I wish I did.
I could use some myself.
Well, you get free coffee too, right, from YouTube. That's helpful.
Yeah, my local coffee shop, I get free coffee anytime I go in there, and then so I mean it's I can't beat that, because I go in there daily. So it reminds me of like there's that episode of Seinfeld when Kramer. He settles a lawsuit with a coffee place, and they give him free coffee for life. And he keeps going in like multiple times a day, and he's just wired. That's exactly what I do.
I believe that. I believe.
Yeah, I believe it.
I believe that one. Yeah.
I need the energy when I make all these videos, man. They're just driving me nuts.
Hey, welcome Comic Otaku into the chat.
Hey,
what's going on?
Welcome. I've seen Comic Otaku in other chats, but first time I think I've seen him in our chat. Guys, by the way, you guys are in the chat. Something that you can do is, if it's somebody you don't recognize, go ahead and hit them and sub them up. Let's support the guys that are here supporting us, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sub you up, Comic Otaku. I'm going to do that right now.
I like Comic Otaku. He's got some decent stuff. He's been a long supporter of my channel, so that's cool. I appreciate him. He's one of the frequent commenters, if you will. There's a short list of people that I'm pretty sure watch my channels. So it grows and it changes, it swaps out people, but there's about 10 people I can usually rely on a comment from. I post a lot of videos. Like I usually put up at least one a day. So it gets I understand when people are like, yeah, I missed the last 3 videos. I'm like, well, you probably did anything, and that would have taken you away from the last 3 videos. So.
Yeah, there's lots of good videos to see. There really are.
Yeah.
I just did Bueller's.
Oh, cool.
I just did my context video for you yesterday. I'm gonna do a little editing, and then I'll have it out in a day or 2.
All right on, man. Thank you so much. Man, I tell you, that contest is keeping me busy. I mean, I've got so many entries for that thing. And I do it old school where I draw a name out of the hat, and that's just a bad idea.
And.org, man.
Especially that last one I did, I printed off like 15 pages and cut out every name individually and put them in the bucket. It was crazy. And of course, I have it to where you get multiple entries. So, like Metarog, you had like 30 entries last time. So your name was cut out 30 times. So it takes a while.
I have 2 words for you, Bueller. Random.org.
That's right.
That will save you a lifetime there.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I've kind of gotten used to this one, and I don't mind putting in the work, I guess. What else am I going to do? So.
Buy some comics.
What else are you gonna do?
When I'm done working, I'm working at the shop for 6 straight days. That's the most I've worked in the last 5 years. So I mean, I got plenty of time on my hands.
You better pace yourself.
Yeah, that's really. Right. Yeah, you'll have a heart attack working that hard. Come on.
Yeah, you sure he doesn't need you just 1 day a week for 6 weeks?
I tried to talk him into it, but he won't do it.
Awesome.
You're too much.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what we've got coming up. Anybody excited? Anybody excited to see any movies coming out? Or is there a con anyone's going to soon? Or because when I was thinking about like our budgeting question and getting, a lot of that, things like that interrupt the budget. Because if you've got a big con coming up or you're trying to get a commission done, all of a sudden you've saved all this money and you're like, okay, it's about to go to 0 and I have to be good with that or not get what I want. So,
well, I'll tell you, I've got tickets to the Baltimore Comic Con for the end of September. So my budget is saving up for that. And I'm trying not to spend too much between now and then, so I'm just trying to save up and be able to purchase a couple big books. And I may bring a couple books I have and get them signed if I can. I haven't been to a real con in like 20 years, so I don't even know what to expect.
Wow.
Last time I went to a con, they weren't what they are today, apparently. So I haven't been to a real one in forever. So I'll bring a few books and see if I can maybe get something signed for not too expensive. And then I'll probably try to pick up a couple of rare Golden Age horror books. So between now and then, I'm going to save up and I'm going to go there and I'm going to blow it all. That's my plan.
Cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. So what happens when your bulk of your collection is slabs, but you want to get something signed? Do you crack the slab and bring it, or do you bring one of those 3 raw books you have left over there?
Oh, no, I'll crack slabs. I will buy raw books all the time. and then they end up getting slabbed, or I'll resell them. And if I buy slabs, I will crack them out and submit them to other companies, or get them pressed and regraded. A lot of times, if you want to get like a new holder, it's only a few extra bucks just to crack it out and get it pressed and graded, and then it comes in a new holder anyway. But yeah, I don't have any problem cracking stuff out of slabs, but everything passes through a slab usually at some point in my collection, it seems like. So yeah, I've got a couple Neil Adams books I picked up this year that are pretty high grade, and he's going to be there. So I might crack those out. Like I got a Tomb of Dracula #1, a Witching Hour 13. I might crack both of those out and see if I can get them signed by him. And it'll be perfect because they're high grades, but I think they're in the real old CGC holders, so they definitely haven't been pressed because nobody was doing it back when these holders were out. So yeah, I can get them pressed, get them signed, and I'll get them regraded, and they'll be in nice new holders from either CGC or CBCS. And yeah, so that's what I'll probably do. I don't know how much it's going to cost or how long the lines are to get something signed, but that's my plan.
Man, cracking stuff out of slabs terrifies me, man.
It did the first time. I'll tell you, some slabs are easier to crack than others, and from different eras within the same company is different too. But the first time I cracked a slab, it took me like over an hour because I was so worried. And then, you know, you get better after you do. I probably cracked 12 to 15 slabs, so not a ton of them, but enough that I feel comfortable doing it. And then, I mean, I'm not going to crack a 181 live like Bub did on his channel. I wouldn't. I do it alone, and I don't want anybody watching. But yeah, I'm very careful about it. It takes a while, but you got to, if you're careful and go delicately, you can do it without damaging the book. I've yet to damage one from doing that. So
I was thinking of just sending all my slabs over to Jeff because he did such a great job on Bueller's channel.
Holy crap, man! He does crap out of one of those.
2 seconds.
Yeah, that was my thought. You know, just send the whole pack to Jeff and let him. He did such a great job. That inner well was perfectly intact, right, Bueller?
Oh my god!
Oh, he ripped that in half. Literally, the first one he cracked was fine. The second one he cracked was literally ripped in half. And I was like, "Come on, really?" But he has fun doing them. Jeff Crush.
Well, he is the man who hates comics, right? So, I mean, that would probably not be a good combination right there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he still doesn't have any comics that he'll take home with him.
I'll tell you, when he cracked that slab, though, that thing exploded. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. The last one he did on the live feed, and it was a thicker one. He snapped that like it was nothing. I mean, he's 400 pounds. He's 6'8". He's a big dude.
Oh.
So he didn't have any problem doing it. But the other one he cracked, actually, it took him a little bit to get it going, and then he just tore the pieces apart.
Yeah, you had me on the ground when I saw that. You totally had me. I thought it was a big joke at first, but no, that's what he did. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so Gomez Comic Collector had a question here, or comment. PGX, I heard it's a snap and pop. All right, let me just throw a comment in here. I've cracked slabs from all three companies, multiple from all three companies. And the PGX ones, they just pop open, and they're just like snap and click, and you just can unclick them essentially at the corners and take the inner well out and slice that open. That is sealed with the comic and the label. But then the case, you can just snap back together, and there's actually a resale market for those PGX slabs. That's one of the reasons I don't trust PGX among other things, but those slabs you don't even have to break to get the book out. With CBCS, I usually will get a pair of pliers and break the bottom. They have tabs on the top and the bottom, and if you break the bottom tabs, the bottom row or the edge comes off, and you can sort of open it like a book vertically and take the inner well out. The CGC ones are a little more difficult, especially the newer ones. You've really got to wedge a screwdriver in there and pry it apart. But with CBCS and CGC, you cannot get those cases open without breaking them. With PGX, they just snap open, and then you can re-snap them closed if you want to reuse it. So anyway, in case anybody hasn't done it, there's how all three work.
Wow. So he's right. There is a way to reseal it, I guess. Right? Wow. It seems problematic if you have a graded comic that could be swapped out for another one of.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know how easy it is to swap in that inner well, but.
Well, I don't think it's that easy to swap the inner well, but you can slice it open, pull a label out, and slide a new one in, and then when it's back in the hard outer case, and you're selling on eBay and looking at photos, you can't see that slice through the outer case. So I mean, people have been burned by buying those on eBay, and you can see YouTube videos of people showing a book that they think is fraudulently, the label's fraudulently been switched out, or the book.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
I'll show you real quick one that I did. So, oh, by the way, I had these up there because I was going to tell DS that if you wanted to go ahead and send me those slabs, I would trade my Dracula 2, Dracula 1, and my Witching Hour 13 for your copies. And that way you wouldn't have to crack a slab.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So those are the 2 books, and that would save me the trouble of cracking those slabs. So let me get those sent out to you.
Yes,
sure. That sounds like an awesome deal.
I have to keep my thumb over this red-headed staple in order for you to accept that deal.
Well, that book looks awesome compared to when you bought it. You never thought it was going to look like it does now.
I know. That was crazy.
Yeah. Is that a rusted staple?
Oh, yeah. Super rusty. Ooh. But it's attached, but it's rusty.
Yeah, but eventually that will rust to the point where it will detach.
Well, let me tell you what that is, actually. So here's what happened. It looks like someone tried to do a little bit of amateur restore on it. They didn't do it to the bottom staple. So the bottom staple had a little bit of rust on it. Not bad. The top staple just had a little bit too. And it looks like somebody took like a napkin with WD-40 and tried to rub the rust off. And so now there's a small spot that goes around that staple that's basically like a grease stain that goes through the whole book. It doesn't interrupt story. It's very small, but that's what it is. Wow. And that's why it's a little reddish right there on the paper. The actual staple is silvery now because that didn't work. He got the rust off it.
Okay.
He ran it all around.
Well, you could always say, Tomb of Dracula, it bled out a little bit or something. I don't know.
Hey, you know what the best thing about this book was, guys? It was free. Oh. This book was free. This was one of the books that I picked up in a lot, and I kept this out of the lot and sold the rest. On this particular lot, I tripled my money and got this book and a few others for free out of that lot. So
that's the best book you've shown then. That's the best book you've shown.
All day long. So I was going to show you guys just because Roger had said if somebody has one of those. So my Hulk 181 that DS was referring to was this was in a slab from CBCS, and it's the old CBCS cases. So it's not the new one. It was a 2.5 white pages, which, low grade, but it's what I could afford at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I cracked the slab. And I put in a Hulk 181 reprint that came with a Marvel Legends battle pack. So that's from a toy. That was packaged with a toy. And look at the bottom of this. I actually was able to put it back in the CBCS case. Try and get a close-up of that. You can see that from all angles, it is resealed.
Wow.
Mm. That could be a little disturbing.
That's dangerous.
It is. Yeah. Now, these are the old cases, and I understand that they were easier to do this with in the old cases. But this was the first time I had ever cracked a slab. This is the first time I had ever done anything with a slab other than just, pick it up and collect it. And this was what I was able to do with it. And if you look very, very closely, and it's very like he had said on eBay, you can't see it, but there's a small thin line there where I cut the well to slide the book out and put a different book in. But there you go. Wow. So that's how easy it was to do the old, and that's live. You can go back to one of my old videos. I did that live, no preparation, nothing. Just sat here with some tools, cracked it open. I had one viewer, and it was DS Comics. And, that was it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, whenever I shop for slabs online, I will look carefully at the photo. I don't buy anything of any kind if I can't get good photos. But with slabs, I will look carefully front and back at each corner and all the edges and the inner well to the best I can to be sure I don't see any cracks or anything funky about it. because you know people will switch those out, especially when you're buying high dollar books. It attracts a lot of people who are unscrupulous, and they will switch a label out if it will, you know, a half grade bump on some of these books is $500. So yeah, you got to be careful when you buy slabs. It doesn't automatically, just because it looks slab, mean it's genuine.
Yeah. Do any of you guys record your openings when you get your boxes in the mail? Like if you order something on eBay, do you record, you know, actually opening it just to protect yourself?
Oh, I usually don't. I usually open it off camera and then just show what I got. But
the burden is kind of messed up when you buy things on eBay, because really the buyer has almost all the control once the book is shipped.
Yeah.
And they don't, as long as you can present evidence of its current condition being ripped, or I guess anyone could stand there and bend it. But I would more be worried about, you know, if I was a seller, maybe I would video packaging it to make it clear that I did package it well, that it didn't have any creases in it when I sent it, that it didn't have a cracked well or anything like that if it's a slab. And then if anything does happen, you might be able to use that against the Postal Service or your FedEx of choice, and and open a case with them saying that they damaged the book.
You know what? A couple times it saved me. When I get the book, the post guy, you know, rings the doorbell. I get the book. I bring it into my office. I actually record myself opening it. And a few times it's come out damaged and things, and I've got that proof, and I've sent it to eBay, and it saved me a few times actually.
That's a really good idea.
That is a really good idea. I've never even thought about doing that.
Yeah, I don't buy enough high value books to warrant that, but that's a good idea.
$1 or $2, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go to the LCS dollar bin and say, "Hey, look, you know, here's my footage of dog-eared Micronauts 1." But yeah, that is a good idea for high value.
Hey, Roger, I just got to tell you, I sold a Micronauts 1, and I'm very happy. I spent 35 cents on it, and I made $4 on it, and it's stuff like that that helps me to get, you know, CBCS slabs to crack. So yeah, I'm good with Micronauts 1. It's a big seller for me.
You're ascending to hero status in my eyes, Bub. Right before me, you're just going up and up and up and up.
Oh, you're too nice to us.
Well, not really. Well, that's just the way it is, you know.
Oh. Well, what do you think? We've come around the 1.5 hour mark. I think it's probably a good place. I know. It's amazing.
I thought we just
started. We're worried about you, Roger.
Hey, listen, I was going to talk about the, you know, DS wanted to know about Zek creepy things, and here I have this nice Zek cover with the spider about to devour this nice family, and you say we got to go.
Yeah,
that was not officially.
I've been looking at that throughout the chat, and that's one I was talking to you about, and I really appreciate you showing that up. So I've been clicking over here since I'm like on the chat panel. I can click, and I've had your screen up for a while, just checking out that cool cover. So I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. And actually, Zek had a few stories and creepy things too. But I know we're out of time. But you know, I love I love talking about all that creepy and obscure stuff. So we'll do that next time.
There's still 3 minutes. You can have it. So what is that book? Tell me about that book. I want to know.
Well, DS commented on one of my videos, and he said, "Hey, you know what's a really cool series? Creepy Things." And I said, "Oh well, I have the complete series, but unfortunately, I believe my Charlton box is at my mom's house. But I do have the modern reprint variants because I collect, you know, all these obscure stuff nobody else does, right? So look at that. I think that's a Tom Sutton cover right there.
Wow.
That is just an awesome looking cover. And these are super dirt cheap comics, guys, but the art is, you know, if you haven't seen Charlton 66, his channel, you got to check him out. This guy is like the mega uber expert on Charltons. And this guy is amazing, but you know, I'm just a jobber compared to him, but I just adore these covers. Look at that monster with those tendrils about to do it. You know, he's trying to kill the baby, and here comes the daddy or the mommy about to kill him. You know, so I mean, I just wanted to show a few of these because, you know, there are some really good comics you do not have to pay a lot of money for.
Yeah, and all of those Charlton books, like the Silver Age, the Bronze Age horror comics from Charlton, they are, like you said, dirt cheap, and the artwork and the story is phenomenal. And some of my favorites are Mike Zeck covers from the 70s. And most people aren't even aware of them, but they're really cheap and they're awesome. I just love them. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing those out.
And that, like the Byrne run of Doomsday +1, I mean, those are, I mean, just amazing comics, and they're cheap, you know. But that was one of Byrne's first jobs for Charlton, and it was a 6-issue series. But let me tell you, some of the most amazing story and art combinations are in Charlton Comics.
Yeah, and Ditko had a lot of stuff in Charlton Comics too. So if you just want to add some cool stuff by Ditko, he did a ton of Charlton stuff throughout the 70s.
His Blue Beetle and his Captain Atom are legendary. I mean, he revitalized that character from the dead. So anyway, we're preaching to the choir to us, DS, you know.
Well, yeah, Charlton 66 has a cool channel. He's like a Charlton expert, and that's what I like about his channel. It's stuff you don't see anywhere else, even for sale sometimes. Places you don't run into it, but he has it on his channel. And Charlton's a little bit of an underrated publisher. They have some awesome stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. Absolutely agree. Steve, his name is Steve. You know, you got to check out his videos. You know, he'll highlight like a whole series. He doesn't have all of them, but most of them, and his knowledge is just off the charts.
That's awesome.
Oh, Epe! What was that? Somebody break a plate? I live near a lot of Greek communities, so Epe, you know.
I tell you, I think I came from Boy Who Had 7. There could be 7 plates broken right now.
As long as it's not an X11 broken, that's okay.
Amen. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I even brought that up, Boy Who Had 7. I apologize. Yeah. I don't want. DS stresses about
nightmares,
things,
man.
So I don't want you to be the same, right?
I tell you, DS and I, before we went live tonight, were hypothesizing about the various methods that you must employ to keep your collection safe from the myriad of ankle biters in your home. So how do you do that?
You know what, man? I raise them right. No.
Good answer. That is
now, you know what, man? They get to touch them, and they get to sit with me and read, and you know, we go wash our hands, and I talk to them about how important they are and expensive they are, and you know what? They've learned to respect them and love them, and they stay out of my office. You know, when their friends come over, they're like, "Dad, can we go show them your YouTube office?" Like, sure, let's go in there together.
That's cool, though, huh? That's cool that your sons are into you know, I think their dad's cool. That's neat. Congratulations, buddy.
It's super fun, man. I mean, my youngest son, he's 9, and he just started his own YouTube channel doing gaming, and he's so cute, man. His first video, and I didn't even watch him record it. His big brothers did it with him. But he like gives a shout out. My dad's the boy who had 7, talks comic books. Follow him. I was so proud of him. I'm like, you're the best, little guy. You're the best.
Wow, that's fabulous, man. Fabulous.
Yeah. Cool.
You see Bueller when he's showing? You see what Bueller's showing over there, trying to kill us?
Oh yeah, New Gods.
9.6 something in it.
Yeah. New Gods number 1, man. Kirby goodness right there. Come on.
It is Kirby goodness by far.
Oh man, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. I had that book and I sold it a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't have it. I'm just showing it.
Hey, that means it's for sale. Roger, break the piggy bank. It's time.
He doesn't have a price tag on it here at the shop. I don't know what he's selling it for. I think he's probably adding it to his personal collection, the owner.
Yeah, it's too much for my blood.
I see a price tag at the top left-hand corner. It says 17 yo-yos. So Roger is only 16 yo-yos away.
16 short. Outside of us in the chat, I'm 16 short, including us about 10.
Nice.
Well, Metarog, I think I've got maybe 2 Duncan yo-yos I can throw in the mix.
All right. Well, then you're double yo-yo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got a few broken yo-yos.
You got a few broken. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you know, Bueller, talk to the shop owner, see what you can do.
All right, I'll ask him if he takes yo-yos.
All right, guys. Well, let's call it for the prize for tonight. I think it's gonna be hard to beat the 738 by Roger's math that we gave to the boy who had 7.
Oh yeah,
for his, that YouTube man.
Wow.
I don't know. I forget what the exact number was.
Yikes. I think it was 24. I think you're off a little bit there.
24. 24.
28.
We were kind of slow-headed out the points tonight. Yeah.
What kind of abacus are you using there, man? Come on.
I'll take.
It is a vintage. It's a vintage abacus. It's worth 14 yo-yos. So if you know somebody, you might be able to work a trade out and get that new gods. So, all right. So this is going to you. So, boy who had 7, send me your. I know you already have my email, so just shoot me your address, and we'll get this sent out to you. You are tonight's winner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now you just got to win 6 more times. So you have 1 for each. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Every time with a bottle of hand sanitizer.
That's right. Every time I get a big book, my kids call dibs. So.
Oh. Man.
My kids have the opposite reaction.
Really?
They're like, get it out of here.
Like,
That's right. That's right.
What are we gonna do with this stuff when you die? I'm like, thanks a lot for thinking about that.
Oh man,
give them my number. Give them my number and email address, Bueller, and I'll take care of your collection for you. I promise.
Well, I'm hoping eventually when I get grandkids, and I'm talking like 6 or 7 years down the line. But when I do get grandkids, maybe because it skipped my kids' generation, they don't care about them. But hopefully, my grandkids someday they'll be like, "Oh, Grandpa, that's really neat." And then there you go. I'll have somewhere to put them.
Boom.
Yeah, right. They're probably going to steal them and sell them for hoverboard money.
Yeah, they're gonna go. Oh, they're not digital. I don't want them.
Oh, you mean I got to actually flip through this?
Yeah.
Oh man, yes. Did you ride dinosaurs while you were collecting comics?
That's awesome.
Anyway.
All right. So today we were the secret staple swappers.
I did that. I did that the other day.
All right, and we now have a monkey in the house. Monkey, can you hear us?
That's an advancement for me.
So you swapped staples? Is that what you're saying? That you swapped staples and sold a book for a higher grade?
Oh no, I didn't sell it. I took a page out of my Hulk 183, the value stamp. I found this really raggedy copy, so I took the staples out and I replaced the centerfold, and boom, got a comic with a value stamp.
Oh,
holy cow! Oh man, DS just like something just happened. We need to send someone over to DS's basement right now.
Yeah,
he just had a chill run down his back.
That's no good. Married centerfold. I'm out.
Married centerfold. Yeah. But I'm not selling it to DS, so don't worry.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't have a big problem buying a book, not like a Hulk 181 or something, but some of these rarer older books that have like a married centerfold or cover or something. If it's from the same book, what are you going to do? Some stuff's hard to find. What can you do?
Yeah, as long as the staple placement is not off 2 inches, no big deal, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't have a huge problem with that. I mean, it depends on the book, of course, but it came from the same book, right?
Right.
Yeah, just a different book, but the same comic. Yes.
It is a DS. What Roger's trying to tell you, it is a genuine, authentic, replicated copy of an actual book that existed somewhere else.
Yeah, and when you get those graded, sometimes they never even can tell that you have a married centerfold.
This one you can tell. This one you can tell, but yeah, it's a little offset, but yeah, Bub, I don't know what he said there. That was a huge amount of obfuscation in there somewhere, but yeah, I agree with whatever it is that he said.
Thank you. If I hadn't already awarded the prize for tonight, you'd win it.
Oh yeah, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You know what I mean?
That's.
Dun, dun, dun,
I'm gonna get over for Christmas. I'm getting you a stapler remover, a new box of Bostik staples, and something to trim, like a pair of scissors to trim whatever's mismatched.
And don't forget the WD-40.
Yeah, WD-40. Yeah,
WD-40.
Why mess with all that?
Yeah.
you just rub the rust right off,
rub
man.
the rust.
Right.
Yeah. That's that. You're missing the primary ingredient there.
That's right.
Oh man, that's great.
All
right, everybody.
While we're at it.
We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it.
Everybody
we'll
in the chat.
Again. Yes, everybody, sub everybody.
Wolf. Sorry, Wolf 0320 just missed it. Just got in. So. Thanks
okay.
for everybody in the chat. I just wanted to shout out who everybody was in the chat. Join us for next week, a little earlier.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and then wherever else you are in the world, you can do the math. And that's how we're going to be next week. We'll be some other team or another. And I want to say a special thank you to our 2 special guests, as it turned out. We had the boy who had 7 and Comics with Bueller. So I want to thank you both for taking away your faces for this chat and making it all about the books.
Hey, Bueller,
you guys are awesome, man. You guys are Bueller. You're killing me. You're killing me with that Iron Man 55. But
you're very welcome to not see my face. I'm doing everyone a favor.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all. So everybody, sub everybody. Give us a couple of thumbs up. And then we'll and anyone who was in the chat tonight, be sure to share this on your page. That way your subscribers can get to see all the fun you had.
Definitely will. Man. Definitely will.
Yay.
All right, guys. Have a great one, and we'll see you later.
All right. Have a great week, fellas. It was a pleasure as always.
Later, guys. Take care.